elements that they shouldn't have been including, and he was fine with that. I haven't gotten the proposal back yet, and I think we just wanted to make sure that, you know, is there something else that the board wants to know before we bring in a final proposal from the architect to consider for his services? And I think the purpose that Russ had in mind when he put this together was just to help the board visualize what we're really talking about in terms of the scope of the project.
The only question I have is that when you talk to the architect, whoever you're going to talk to, I presume that the architect is going to want to know if the project has been cited, site-specific. And I know that we've been talking about the fire station area over there, but I don't know that we really had a really comprehensive discussion as to whether or not that's the best location for a future police department. You know, I don't know that, I mean, we kind of all assumed, well, the fire station's there and maybe the police department should be there. I think that I'd like to at least have some discussion about that.
We can't tell you, I don't know if you want to do this now, Mr. Premier, but we have had some discussions about what other uses could go on the site with the police station. The way we backed into the subject was to say we have 4 acres or 4.5 acres. Now we put a police station, we put parking, we put room for a garage for police vehicles in the future if it's not done immediately. What else can go there? We have a bioswale, what else can go there? And one of the issues that I think came up in our discussions was we can't get more than one access off of, is that Saunders in that point, Pat? I'm getting there, and I'm getting there.
It's a long way in.
I'm sorry, and therefore, there's a shared entrance.
Telling by the word.
There's a shared entrance. Therefore, there's a danger and a safety issue with having more uses than what can accommodate with a fire station there. And as a result, the consensus that seemed to develop at the staff meetings was that we wouldn't get anything more than a police building on the site, but that marrying a police building to the fire station use that's there when they're sharing that interest is probably a more fitting use than putting, you know, name it, a community center, a library, or something else that drew a lot of people to that site. Maybe we weren't thinking about that when we conveyed the site.
I'm not thinking even beyond that. I'm thinking that it's one of the last potentially commercial sites in the village, and it may have value. Whereas a police station could be put in an area that might be considered less valuable. I'm not exactly sure whether it's other property that we own, village property that we own, or village property that we could acquire. But that's a particular site that would seemingly to me be commercial. It could have some commercial use in the future if the village was in need of revenue and wanted to sell that or something like that. Whereas once the police station's down there, you've lost a 4-acre site, which is a very high exposure site.
But the problem with that site is the only way you can get in there is through that one. You can't get another curb cut.
I don't know that. I mean,
to a degree, when the fire station went in, the commercial value of that property was largely lost.
So you're saying IDOT, no way ever going to allow another.
You'll never have an access on Deerfield
Road.
No, but possibly on Riverwoods Road.
And Riverwoods Road, potentially a right in, right out, which you know, a CVS, a Walgreens, somebody like that. I mean, we saw what we went through over on at the Economy site over there. You know, if they don't have both corners with full access, they hardly want to look at the site. And so, you know, those types of uses, I think, would not be interested in the site where all they're getting is a right in, right out on one corner.
Mike, I think you were on the board when we acquired that property. And the
I
reason,
was. I was actually the nominee to try and acquire it.
But the reason we acquired it was to keep it from going commercial.
No, I understand that, but you know, things change. And you know, in my view,
would you like to see it commercial now?
No. In my view, a police station is a commercial use there. That's a commercial use. It's no different than any other kind of commercial building on that corner. It happens to be a police station. And frankly, it's
other
to me.
than a garden, what would you put in there that wouldn't be commercialized?
To me, when you pull into the village of Riverwoods, that's basically our entrance over there. You know, in some respect, to say, wow, great, we got a police station right there. It's a safety issue. Other side of me says, not the best thing to see is when you first come into a
Well, but
village,
you know,
is to see a police station.
as a
Kind of makes me feel a little funny. So I don't know whether or not it's good or bad or what.
I think it's
I'm
good.
just suggesting that I didn't have this discussion with anyone. It just came to me and all of a sudden, not only were we talking about a police station, which I can get my head around that, but we also are talking about citing it in a site-specific place, which I don't really think we ever really discussed. Now, it may have been discussed at meetings, you know, at plan meetings, etc. But from my perspective, and I don't know how anyone else feels on the board, but from my perspective, I didn't have those discussions. No one gave me this information, so I'm completely ignorant to it. And I didn't know whether or not somebody else, other than me, explored all of those other locations in the village. You know, we also have the Herman Wildflower Farm that is available. I mean, maybe that's a great spot for the,
We tried to
you
buy
know,
it.
we have, what's his name's, you know, the gas station that has not been acquired. No one knows what's going on with that. That's another spot that potentially could be for the police station. There's a myriad of spots. And I don't know that anyone did the due diligence to determine which is the optimal site. It just kind of happened that we're talking about it being by the fire department,
Can I address that?
in my
Oh,
view.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, so, go ahead, sorry.
Actually, I think the first time that I ever brought this up before the board, and I went into some reasons that I thought we needed a police station, I did mention why I thought that would be a good property for a good site for the police department. Number one, because we already owned it, and obviously the board would have to decide dollar and cents wise if we're going to build a department, if that makes the most sense. But to me, just speaking, you know, from you know, a law enforcement standpoint, I just thought it was a nice site because it's centrally located. Everybody could find it because people can't always find our location here. And unlike the fire department, we're actually responding from anywhere in the village, but often we are responding from in the police station. You know, when they're taking reports, or I'm in my office doing work and I have to go out on a call. And to respond from there, I can get right out onto Saunders or Riverwoods to get. I can get up to Duffy quickly. I can take Deerfield Road wherever I want, or I can take Saunders to Lake Cook, and I can pretty much get wherever I want quickly.
Bruce, you don't have to make a pitch for it. That's all great anecdotal information. I understand that. I'm just saying, the process by which it all of a sudden just happened, and it was that location, it never came to me. From the standpoint of a trustee who has to make these decisions, I'm hearing this now, you know, and I think maybe in the past you've talked about it kind of, you know, briefly, but I don't know that anyone did a comprehensive, you know, study or determination as to where all the options are, and why this one is good, and this one is not as good, and this one has this attribute. Maybe it was done, and that's fine. It would be great if I saw that, or if someone told me that.
Well, what we did, we looked at the land that the village owned and determined this.
Okay, so when we vote on whether or not this police station is gonna be in the village, it's basically, our options as a board are gonna be, because there may be a board member who's prepared to say, yeah, I really need a police station in the village, but I don't want it there.
Okay.
So, because of that, I'm not gonna vote for it. You understand what I'm saying? As opposed to having a consensus that if we're gonna have a police station, here's the location for it. So now we've got that done. And now let's vote on whether we're gonna have that police station. You follow what I'm saying?
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. And I'm not sure, I'm not saying that my way is right or my way is wrong.
Do you have a suggestion for another site?
Well, no, I don't.
No,
I don't
I
think
think
that's the issue.
he's asking a fair question.
Of course
He just
is.
wants to know if this question ever really got asked and
We
evaluated.
did,
Yes, it did.
we looked,
It did at
looked
the
at,
very beginning.
we looked at what the village owned already, and,
I guess it's the definition of we.
Who's
Who's have
Yeah.
Well,
objecting to.
well, I understand.
I know I didn't do anything about
I
it.
think it gets down to the old staff meeting thing, and
Yeah.
the stuff comes out of the staff meeting, we're told what is gonna happen, period.
Well,
Yeah, and it's okay if the staff meeting comes out and
If it's
says,
acceptable.
here's what we evaluated,
And
this is why
Sure.
we chose
Pat,
this.
say something, will
You know,
please?
I'd be happy to evaluate other sites for you.